Hello everyone, this is Kip Monty, and I'm playing a little bit of Everquest Next Landmark. This is the alpha phase of the game. They had an NDA for all of about a day on the alpha and then released it, and now they're letting us kind of share whatever we want because the community had such a great response. They're like, yeah sure, we'll lift the NDA. So I'm making a trek across the world right now. I thought I'd spend a little bit of time talking about some of the basics of the game, let you see a little bit of the map as I move around. Character creation right now is pretty basic. I mean, they're just getting us in the game and letting us test out some of the more basic systems, so not really going to go into character creation. You can only really pick one type of character and change a few things about them, hair and stuff like that. Once you get in the game, you'll notice there are different servers, and each server has what they call an island. Each island has a different name. It doesn't really matter which one you pick because you can teleport between any of them. The only thing that really matters is a new character is going to want to be on a tier 1 island. I'm going to use server and island interchangeably just because I'm in a habit of saying so. But you've got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, and you want to stay on tier 1 until you have leveled up enough to advance to tier 2. And what I mean by level up is, in this game, your level is based off your pick and your axe. So starting the game, I bought the Trailblazer, so I got the Founder's Pickaxe, which is a pretty neat pick. It works as a pick and an axe, and it's about as good as the second level tier, I guess. Not quite a tier. There's different levels of each tier when you have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, but there's about 4 different picks that you'd be using in tier 1. The Founder's Pick is about as good as the second or third one as far as what materials you can gather. So you're going to want to find a crafting station, and each zone has a crafting station right next to the main teleport. If you look at the map here, usually towards the center of every zone, there's this glowing looking thing over here. That is going to be the teleporter. That lets you go to any of the other servers by activating the glowing thing in the middle. You kind of have to reach up to get to it, but it's there. You can use the teleport back and forth. And next to that will be a crafting station that lets you do some of the more basic crafting. You're going to want to start working towards your copper pick as soon as possible. The way you level up picks, usually you'll make a pick and then the next pick you make uses the one before that, but then it stops. It's not like every time you go up a pick you have to sacrifice your previous one. It's usually make a pick, use it to make the next one, and it ends. You make another one, use that to make the 4th pick, and it ends. Alright, you see these little color things I'm passing by. There's pink, there's green, there's all different colors. One of the first ones you're going to be looking for is a copper colored one. Think of a penny, you're looking for one that looks like a penny. If you look around that teleporter in each zone, there's going to be a bunch of different colored areas. You can't mine any of those, but it's there to show you which color nodes are in that zone. So you'll want to make sure you're on a tier 1. You'll be able to run around that teleporter to see the different colors and find one that looks copper so you'll know what you're looking for. Apart from mining a bunch of copper up, you're also going to want to start chopping a whole lot of trees. Right now there's only one type of tree in the game, and it drops 2 types of wood: the plain wood logs and the burled wood logs. So you've got the plain wood that I'm showing you here, and then while chopping on the same tree you can get a rare drop called the burled wood log. And you're going to need so many of these, so you can't go wrong by spending your first couple hours just doing nothing but chopping trees. And you use a wood station to turn those into planks. Plain wood planks, burled wood planks. So there's 2 types of stations right off the bat you're going to need, and and that's the regular forge. There's one that's right there by the portal like I mentioned, and then you'll need to find or create a woodworking station. I would suggest just using other people's. As you run through the world, you'll see settlements, people have claimed lands, put up their stations, especially around the portal areas. There'll usually be some people with some stations somewhere close by that you can kind of just run up and bum off of them and use their stations. That way you're not having to immediately go and claim land and build up your own stations right off the bat. So now I'm going to show you briefly chopping wood. Pretty simple. You equip your axe, or in this case my founder's axe, which works as a pick and an axe. Highlight over the tree, click and hold. You don't have to just sit there and repeatedly click. You can click and hold, and you can see the health bar of the tree going down as I'm chopping it. You see those little resources coming out of the tree, flying around and eventually making their way towards me. Right now it's kind of going a little crazy, but they're flying towards me. Bottom left you can see how many I'm getting per chop. And the tree busts and goes away. Currently there is no fall damage. You can run up any slope no matter how steep. They've already stated in an interview I was reading that that of course will go away. There will be fall damage. You won't be able to climb just straight up anything. They've already got grappling hooks in the game. They also mentioned the possibility of flight, and they'll probably definitely be gliding and some other forms of travel, maybe horses, some kind of mounts. Okay, so on the map, you see all these white squares. Those are people's claims. These tiny squares are their actual buildable areas. And then around their buildable areas, these buffer zones get created. I'm not exactly sure on the mechanics of how close you can build to somebody, but once you get a bunch of stuff overlapping, you're not going to be able to place a new claim in any of those spots. They've already said they're opening some new servers really soon here to deal with the fact that most of the maps are completely covered in already claimed land. They've had a lot more subscriptions, I think, than they realized they were going to have, especially once they dropped the NDA. A lot of people that were on the fence decided to jump on board, since that Everquest was obviously comfortable enough with their game to release drop the NDA and let people talk about it. As you can see, there'll be as I run through somebody's land, it'll show me if I'm running over somebody's claim. You can leave a little message or whatever, your guild tag, whatever it may be there. I think I'll stop for a second and show you a little bit of mining. So here's one of those nodes. You're going to be looking for one initially that's copper colored. Copper and tin are going to be your first two main resources. So I'm going to take my Swift Bronze pick. It's a little bit lower level pick. It's not my best pick, but it's faster than my other picks. So I'm going to chop away some of the dirt and stone from around this node so I can really get at the meat of the node with this faster pick. See, when I try and hit the node, it's saying up this pick can't do it, not high enough. So I'll switch to this other pick. You can obviously see it's slower, but I am able to mine this resource that I wasn't able to mine before. So now I'm getting, instead of just dirt and stone, this tungsten ore. Occasionally I'll get an elemental tungsten. Pretty much every ore has an elemental, which is a rare drop, just like the burled wood was a rare drop from the tree. And this is one of the coolest things about the game, is that, as you node, you're significantly making a difference in the world. I mean, whatever I'm hitting is getting chopped away. I look like I'm floating on air, but it's obviously I haven't hit something that's underneath me. And the way a lot of these work, I mean, these are like veins that you're chasing after. So once you see it on the surface, you have to mine and follow it all the way down. Usually these veins will end in the higher level vein at the end. So like this tungsten ore will probably have some gold if I mine it all the way to the end. And by the end of this, I'll be in a Degum cave, completely underground by the time I find the end of this vein, which in my opinion is pretty awesome. So definitely an improvement over running up to the node, seeing on the ground, hit it a couple of times and it disappears. Well, that doesn't look pretty. One of the first questions everybody asks is there a zoom? Can you zoom in and zoom out? Yes, you can. Hold down shift and mouse wheel. You can see there in front of me that tungsten green ore has given way to some gold ore. So that's what I'm really interested in getting to. The gold for the gold bars, and also the elemental gold that I just got there. That's needed in a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to make at this point in time. I'm pretty close to being able to make my next level pick. I've just been spending the evening trying to get a little bit of extra elemental gold, which I got just before I started this video, so I'm on my way to go make the next pick once I get done knocking this node out. And some of these nodes go pretty deep into the ground. I know they have plans to put a whole lot of stuff deep in the ground, lava, caverns. So you have to be careful when you're mining, not to just blindly mine. If you knock a hole in the ground and suddenly there's literally a hole there, you don't want to just jump in because you may not hit the ground for some time. Alright, I'm not going to completely get every scrap out of this one because I want to move on and show you some more of the game. So you can see I'm down here in this tunnel that I've created. Eventually the land will heal, that tunnel will go away, it'll reset itself just like the trees and everything else. The world will return to normal, so it's not just eventually a giant strip mine with pot marks everywhere. I like zooming out because I like the perspective. Get a few flips and jumps in. You see I'm approaching the teleport there. So there's the teleporter, the link between the worlds. Right here I'm coming up on somebody's claim. I knew this one was here. This guy has got some of the better stations set up so that people can use them right outside the teleport. So this is pretty awesome. I don't have to lay a claim yet. I don't have to do anything but come over here and use his stuff. Go to this one. This one that I'm at now. This is the more basic one. It'll let you make your first few items. Stone pick would be first. All you need is a bunch of dirt to make that. Easiest thing to mine. Next you've got your copper pick. Remember I was saying you needed to go find copper nodes. You turn copper into copper ingots, and there's that rare drop from hitting copper, elemental copper. You only need 10 of them to make your first pick, so no worries there. And you're plain wood logs. So pretty basic to get that first one going. Your bronze pick, like I mentioned, will need the lower level copper pick to be combined with it to make that level pick. Here you need your elemental tin, your tin, and then this gemstone that you'll find throughout the world, kind of an aqua color. and your first use of the rare wood, the burled wood planks. You go down to metal, that's where you're going to smelt your copper into your copper ingots. Simple enough. I'm going to turn some silver into ink. Tell it to go up to 3, then do craft. And apparently it's lagging on me right now, otherwise it'd be going wrong. Alright. Looking over my materials, I finally have enough of everything I need to make my next level pick. You see I need the Tunskin pick. Right now I have it in my hand, so I have to unequip it. I just clip another one into place. I also have a couple of crafting bracelets I'm going to put on to replace my mining bracelets or rings, whatever these are, to give myself a better chance at a better pick. Alright, wish me luck. Alright, it's not working right now. First time I've run into this bug where it just won't craft anything, but you can just see if I could hit craft, the bar would slowly go across. The more I'm making, the slower across it goes, but it doesn't take too long. You're making like 100 or something. Crafting stations, these are good to have once you have a plot and you don't want to have to go very far from your area, especially if you're mining stuff from your own tier. Stone forge is going to be the first one you make. Pretty simple materials, just more copper and stone. You get stone from everywhere. You'll have tons of it. But if you're getting to the game a little bit later, it might be a good idea just to try and level up your pick real quick and not worry about getting the forges, because you can just use somebody else's and wait until you can build one of these better ones that does most of the lower level stuff and higher. You can't make the most basic pick here. Like I don't see the stone pick anywhere, but you know, it does most of the stuff and some of the higher items. I'll briefly show you the woodworking station. Right now there's only one type of woods. There's not a whole lot to do with the woodworking station other than turning your logs into planks. Alright, well that's it for the first little look I'm going to do here on Everquest Landmark. I'm Kip Monty and I appreciate you watching my video.